use just some craft store paint. Do white. I'm gonna do yellow, orange, black. And then I'm going to try to come over with some thinned out dark green for some accent lines and whatnot over the top of it to see how it looks. A little bit of white, a little bit more yellow. Shake these paints real well. See how it goes. This outrageous orange. More black than I really would need, but that's okay. I washed the lure in Dawn soap just to really get the oils and stuff off of it. I'm not going to be painting the bill, so I'm okay with holding the bill by hand. I'm going to take the hemostats off of the bottom for now while we paint the white. Thin coats, little light thin coats. We'll get it covered up. If you feel like you're not any good at this, that's okay. Fish don't care. Fish do not care. You could throw it the way it is with no pin on it. Never catch fish. The only people that care are people who are buying lures. You know, they say that the age-old adage that lures are designed to catch fishermen, not fish. So, you know, do your first one. If it looks like crap, that's okay. The fish are not going to care. Just get in there and get some practice. I'm going to transition from white to yellow to orange to black. I just want to get enough on there to really cover up the pockets, and the structure, the 3D structure, or the 3D printed structure, right here. Again, not that the fish care, but I just want it to look pretty for myself. I like to work light to dark. I find it easier to blend that way. Oh no. Mistakes were made. Let's clean that up. Maybe we'll give him a black tail. If that doesn't go away. It's okay. Nature's not perfect either. Well, nature is perfectly imperfect, right? Get some of that yellow. What I want to do is I want to go here above the white, right? And don't worry about mixing it in yet. Just get you some yellow in there. Not too much. I want a little thick, but it's okay. Go back and grab you some white. Oops. Don't drop it again. Another one here. Just kind of work your brush back and forth. You want to be blending from the lighter color into the darker color. You see I went a little thick on the white right here earlier. It's okay. You know what I didn't bring is I didn't bring a couple of warm water to wash my brush in. Get some yellow on here and then we'll go do that. This lure, again, is for you, right? It's for practice. But don't worry about being perfect. It doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical on both sides. It doesn't have to be exactly the right colors. It's going to catch fish all just the same. Get our white again. And the earlier just kind of work from the white into the yellow. We're getting somewhere. I'm going to set this down real quick. I'm going to go get a warm cup of water. A cup of warm water. Give it something to sit on there. Keep our brush wet. Let's get our orange. I think on this one we're going to paint the eyes too. We're going to hand paint the eyes. We're going to have a black back on it, so I'm just going to get close up there. Let's grab some of that yellow. And again, bring them together. I think I want more orange. Bring that orange down a little lower. Now that I get a good look at it, or a longer look at it, may as well go ahead and paint in there because we're going to paint that with a different color later. Again, grab me a little bit of that yellow. And we're going to just blend them together. Let's do the other side. How far up did we come? Pretty close to the top of the eye there. You know, it would have been best to just do one side at a time. It's easier to blend the colors in when they're wet. This yellow's dried pretty well here. That's okay. Blend this again on this side. Hopefully I'm holding that in a position that you can see it. Not really. Not really. Give it a good black along the back. I'm going to stay a little narrow in the front here because I didn't get the face covered with the orange. I'm going to do that. Right where the eyes are, I want the black to come down. We're going to blend it in kind of the same way we did a while ago. We're going to add some orange. When we blend this, after we blend it, we're going to come back and add another coat of black right there in the middle. I think that's the plan. Well, we're kind of taking it as it comes. Sometimes you go in with a plan and the plan doesn't work out. Sometimes you don't. You go in with no plan at all and just see what happens. And that's kind of where we're at right now. And then we're going to wash some of that black off. Get us some orange. And go down and blend that. And like I said, we're going to come back at the top and really darken the middle. So don't worry too much about that at the moment. Just try to get a blend there, let the colors come together. It's hard to blend black with a light color like this. I probably should have came in with the orange a little lower and transitioned to a darker orange first, but it's gonna be fine. So now clean the black out of my brush and a little more of this orange. orange, yellow, kind of mix them together here on our paper towel. I'm actually kind of liking it. I didn't end it. It was a little too dark at the top for me at first. It's growing on me. Just more of this orange down. Lighten up with some yellow. Lighten up this little spot back here. If you have an airbrush, it does make a lot of this work a lot easier. But it's not a necessity when you're painting your own colors. And you know, if maybe their own little market, you know, if you get really good at this, you're the Picasso of hand painting lures. I'm sure there's somebody out there that is, you know, that doing a really great job with hand painting lures and selling them. I'm sure there's somebody. It would never be me. Again, and really give it a good cover in the middle, right there down the back. Oh, you know what? Let's do the face. I think in front of the eye, I wanted orange. I wanted orange. Get a little bit to kind of paint around the lip. You know that you can't really see that because my fat hand's in the way, but I'm painting the face orange. Got it. Same thing on the other side. Now we'll go and do the black. Well, I'll try to paint. And we're going to go in and do the eye here. Go ahead and do that black. Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna wait. I'm undecided. I'm undecided on how I want to paint that eye, so we'll wait until we have something for sure. Let's try what we were talking about with the green. I think it may come down with some vertical stripes. Take some matte fluid medium and get this at Hobby Lobby. I'm gonna thin out this green paint a lot. It's not gonna make it transparent. I mean, it's not gonna make it as good as a transparent paint, but it'll thin it out some. It's just a acrylic base. It's kind of greener than I'd want it to be, but I guess it was Christmas green. I don't think there's any fish swimming around with Christmas green and orange, but the fish don't care. Dab some on there. Debating on if I wanted to do it with a sponge, but maybe I won't do it with a sponge. Maybe I do want to do it with a sponge. So you take it like one of these, right? This is new out of the package. take these, get that hair out of there, kind of rip this up so that it's not uniform, like that. Take that, just dab your brush in there a little bit, your sponge, not a lot, maybe even get some of the extra off, and just go down with that. I'm just going up and down, giving it kind of a vertical pattern. Doesn't take much, doesn't need much. And then on the back, we'll try to put them in the same place. It's hard for me to hold it in a way that so you can see it. Those guys. Can't really hold it in a way for you to see it well. There we go. Now for the eyes. I think I'm going to lay down a white. I'm going to use a thinner brush though. Get some more white. I'm going to reuse my paper towel as much as possible. My palette. Let's get fancy. Let's call it my palette. What color eye do you think? I'm going to lay down white, and then behind that, or on top of that, I mean, something, a gold color? Maybe a gold color? I think I have a kind of gold, like a metallic gold craft paint over there. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I'm really shaky. And that's just how things are sometimes. So if you shake a lot, if you're not, you can do it. Went a little far, a little higher up than I wanted to go. But you know what? Like I've told you it 100 times. That's okay. It's gonna be fine. I find that when mistakes like that happen, I want to try to go correct them. Like, oh, gonna even out the other side. And then it just never works out. It makes things worse. So, for me in my house, we just live with those happy little mistakes. For the most part, most of the time, if you hadn't brought it up, somebody else wouldn't notice. So, no one is more critical of the artist than the artists themselves. And we're all artists. I'm an artist. Look at me, I'm making art. This is art, right? I'm not Rembrandt, but I'm making art. I'm using art supplies. So, haha, how about that? I'm gonna let that white dry for a minute. I'm gonna go find, I think the gold. We're gonna lay down a bed of gold there. And then, black in the middle. So here's there at that for a minute. This guy, this is Dollar Store. I don't remember if it's Dollar General or Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, Dollar, I don't remember. One of those. But I like this stuff. It's got a little bit of a glitter. It's not glitter, I don't know. It's got a little bit of a sparkle in it. Drop the lid. Forgive me. I like these. They've got green, purple, blue, orange. I like those colors. Which eye did we start with? I don't remember. Whichever one we started with should be dry first, right? When I'm hand painting the eyes like this, I like to lay the paint on a little thick. And I kind of like to, it's not like long brush strokes. You're kind of like giving it a little bit of texture as you go. Because the eye has a lot of stuff going on with it. You know, you really look like a zoomed in picture of an eye. It's got a lot of stuff going on with it. Like textures, and it's not flat, I guess what I'm saying. We're not here painting anything that's a recreation of life, or nothing that's going to fool anybody as realistic. Kind of like that. You see, is a lot going on there. It looks a lot worse on camera than it does in person. Of course. I mean, we're always going to say that, right? It looks way better over here to me than it does to you. It looks like trash to you. If you do feel that it looks like trash, that's okay. We're all entitled to our opinion. I like it. And that's one thing that matters. The other thing that matters is that the fish don't care. Alright. There's one. There's the other. We're going to let that sit for a while. Once it dries, I'm just going to put a big black dot in the middle of it. So let that sit. I went ahead and painted the black eye off screen. You see the gold there, painted the eye. Other side, same thing. What I'm going to do, which I've never tried before, I was just thinking about it a while ago. I'm going to take some UV resin and I'm going to try with a pipette to drop a couple drops in here, and then we'll cure it with the UV light and see how well that works before we're making our own eye. If we can find a way to kind of keep this guy level, that might be good enough. I've got my UV resin. I let it soak in some hot water for a little bit just to keep it thin, or thin it out. It just, like I said, it's cold here. Hopefully we're not going to get any air bubbles, but if we do, well, I guess let's start with hopefully it'll get up in this pipette. Oh, it did. Good. Híjole, look at all the air bubbles. Okay. Well, we got a lot of air bubbles in there. Let me try again. I may have pulled it out prematurely. This thing fill up. If we get to a point where it's not sucking up anymore, maybe it won't get any air bubbles. Alright, that's not too bad. And let's try. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we're going to find out. My hope is that it'll kind of settle there and the surface tension will keep it together. It does have an air bubble in it, but that's okay. Yeah, it's overflowing a little bit. That's alright. Yeah, that was too much. Oh well. All we're going to have to do is cut off part of it. It's overflowing on the top of the hair, on the top of the bait. Put a little more than we needed. Never tried this, so I don't know how long to let it sit. I mean, we put a pretty good amount in there. It's pretty thick. Maybe I should have had a timer going because I don't know if it's been 20 seconds or a minute. I wasn't paying attention. If I take this nail, no, it's pretty hard. Okay, that was long enough. See right there on the top where it poured over. I'm thinking I can get that with the X-Acto knife. Try to cut that off, but we'll do that in a second, just in case we gotta do it more than once. Let's try again. Squeeze all this out. let that pipette fill. If you pull it out too early, it's going to grab air, like it did for me the first time. So once it feels like it's regained its shape here in the bulb, pull it out and have your paper towel ready to wipe off that excess because it's going to drip. And let's try to not do as much as we did on the first side. Make sure the resin kind of goes over and fills up all the pocket there. I think that's going to be a success. Let's see, we did around 30 seconds there. Let's see if it's hardened. Still a little soft. I'm going to give it a little while longer. Probably be good. That's got to be good. Yeah. So 30, let's see, hold them for a minute. A minute would be definitely enough. This side did turn out well. If we can get that in focus. Come on. The other side, we're going to do something with that. Little speed bump on the top there. I really don't want to get after it with the sandpaper. I'm already a little concerned that the knife is going to scratch the paint. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it like this and keep getting oil on it. If you've been down this road before and you've got a good way to cut resin like this, please leave it in the comments below, because I've never had to. I've only ever used it for clear coat, and it's always worked out fine. Alright, we got it off. We did get it off with a little damage there. And holding that with the toilet paper gave me a little wound on the back. That's okay. A little dab of this. Clean up that spot next to the eye. I don't know if I want to leave that spot in the back there. If you need a little bit, you don't want to get out a cup or paper towel. The lid always has some in it. Spot next to the eye fix, it'll dry, it'll be flat like the rest of it. Back here, I think I'll just leave it. Do have that air bubble there. This side came out well. I'm happy with that. Are we done? Is there anything else that we feel that we need? I think we're done. One thing that's important to say, when I put the first round of UV clear coat on there, that was acting as in lieu of the filler primer, I didn't come down here on the bill. Only brushed it along the body, and that was for good reason. I often see people when they're painting their lures, they will clear coat all the way to the end of the lip, and I don't think that that's good practice. Not everybody does it. I would say that most don't, but some do, and I genuinely don't think that's a good practice. I don't plan to be fishing this lure this way. We've gone into that in the earlier videos and the reasons why. But if you've got a Lexan or polycarbonate lip, you need to be running it along the bottom. You need to be hitting the rocks. You need to be deflecting off of cover. And when that happens, you know, the edge of your lip is constantly getting hit and dinged up and damaged. And if your coat, whether it's one coat or two coats or three coats of clear coat, goes around the body and the lip all together, once this starts chipping off, you're creating a weak point, and eventually that clear coat's going to fail back to where your paint is. So for the same reason, initially I didn't clear coat the lip, because I wanted the base, the primer for lack of a better word, underneath the paint to not be affected by what goes on down here at the end of the lip, because inevitably this will get damaged, will get chipped, will get nicked. So when I'm going to do two coats of clear coat. Well, I'm going to do one on the body the same way, from just the body and not the lip. So we're going to brush it here and along the bottom, excluding the lip. I'm going to let that dry. If I like that, if I'm happy with the way that is, and it doesn't need a second clear coat, then I will do a final application, which is just the lip, and it's going to overlap up to this one. So actually, whenever I apply this one, I'll probably brush it down here, so there is some that feathers out down on the lip. So when I apply the final clear coat, which is going to be on the lip only, it will overlap that. So when this inevitably fails, it'll just be the top layer and not, hopefully not, impacting too much what is protecting our paint. Alright, applied a little heat to get the paint cured. Let the resin soak in a hot water bath again. Let's get it started. Try to keep you guys in a frame here. I usually try to do 2 thin coats in the final, not counting the coating that's going to go on the lip. But sometimes it only needs one. We'll see how it goes. I was just thinking how internally I had a thought, really it's hard, you gotta make sure that you get all the coverage here. And then I was thinking I was gonna reach over and pick up this flashlight to let it provide a glare and help me see if I've missed any spots, but that light is UV light, so that is not the tool for this job. That would be a catastrophe. Well, not a catastrophe. We'd notice as soon as we turned it on. You guys would probably notice before I turned it on, but yelling at me through the YouTube screen, hard for me to hear it. So I think we got it all. There are a little bit of bubbles in there, I can see. So I'm going to apply some heat. Hopefully pop some of those bubbles. Looks like it's got it all. Apply some heat, pop some of those bubbles. Put this bad boy on the turner for a little bit. I can use a little more on the back. Put this bad boy on the turner. Let it turn. And then we will see if it needs another coat or not. So I did apply a coat of the UV clear, and what I did not do is I didn't clean the lure well beforehand. When I had the excess resin up here that I was cutting off, and I was handling it and holding it with a paper towel, and I got that little damage right here on it. I think I got some oils on it because that coat, that first coat that I did on it, had a lot of fish eyes. It didn't adhere well in a lot of places. I noticed that a couple minutes into having it on the turner. I went ahead and tried to apply some more on top of what was there. Still didn't work out that well, so I let that cure. I took it off. I hit it with a little bit of sandpaper to knock the gloss off, and then I took some sandpaper to kind of knock down what didn't come out real smooth. And then I took some 4/0 steel wool wet, went ahead and go over it and knocked down the gloss of the parts that were good. What did happen is right here I sanded in a little too much, got through the paint there, and on the back right here, same thing, which I didn't really notice prior to reapplying. So the clear coat came out well, the second one did, but I got the little boo-boos there, so that's okay. And then, so after those 2 coats, then I came back and put some resin here on the lip, just on its own. It came up to here. I'm happy with it. I think it's definitely going to catch some fish. So here we go. I'll put some pictures in here too, so you can see some still frames of it. Next, I've got the same crankbait still sitting on the print bed. I haven't assembled it, so I'm going to assemble it. I'm going to do an airbrush video on it, and I've got a Iwata airbrush set up, but I bought like a $30 little airbrush with compressor from Amazon. We're going to review that, see how that goes. I don't have a lot of faith, but we'll see. So catch that on the next video, which should be linked up here somewhere. Thank you guys for tuning in. I've enjoyed making the videos for you. Hopefully there's a lot more to come.